Welcome back to Bay Area Housewife of True Crime. We are at part 5 of the Tina Faelz case. As a reminder, topics may be triggering. Listener and viewer discretion is strongly advised. The people mentioned are innocent until proven guilty in court. What ultimately caught up to Creepy Carlson was DNA technology taken from Tina's purse. The purse had been examined prior to for fingerprinting, but that was all that technology had stretched to at the time. And even though Detective Savage had sent the purse to Quantico for DNA testing in 2008, it wasn't analyzed in 2010, and they didn't get a match until 2011. When the DNA match was a hit in 2011, Pleasanton police officer Keith Batt and Lieutenant Jim Knox spent 6 months putting back the case together after it had been cold for so many years. When police questioned Steve Carlson again, he didn't know his mom, Sandy, had passed away 5 months prior on March 9, 2011. They arrested him as soon as he was released from Santa Cruz County Jail in August of 2011 on suspicion of murder in the Tina Faelz case. On what would have been the start of the trial of Steve John Carlson for the murder of Tina Marie Faelz, Shirley Orozco died at the age of 66 of a sudden heart attack. For 27 years, Steve John Carlson got away with murder, and although he was a minor of the age of 16 when he committed the brutal murder of Tina Faelz, he was tried as an adult due to the brutality of the murder. In the 2012 preliminary hearing for the trial on this case, Todd Smith testified that he ran into Steve Carlson on that afternoon. His hair was wet as if he had just taken a shower, and he always thought it was odd that Creepy Carlson passed up the opportunity to go and look at a dead body. At trial, makeup was used to cover up Creepy Carlson's face tattoos. Carlson was first represented by a public defender, but then his sister Tanya hired a private criminal defense attorney, Annie Faelz. Stacy Pettigrew was the prosecutor in the case, and Honorable C. Don Clay was the presiding judge. Creepy Carlson, his siblings, his friends, and his parents recall that the police were at the Carlson house on the day and after the murder. Tanya, his older sister, specifically recalls brewing a pot of coffee for the Pleasanton police. At trial, the police admitted to questioning Steve Carlson but denied ever going to his house. In the book Murder in Pleasanton by Josh Suchon, an anonymous friend of Tina says that Creepy Carlson raped her repeatedly during her time at Wells Middle School. She told Tina about it, and he tried going back to her house, and he tried to make Tina do things to him as well. This friend says that at the end of the school year, Creepy Carlson brought 5 of his friends to rape her so that they could lose their virginity. On April 5, 1984, while his parents were in Tahoe, Creepy Carlson got drunk, went to school, got put into the garbage dumpster by jocks, and was sent home. At around 3 p.m. from his house, he saw Tina walking home from school. That's when he got a kitchen knife and went to stab her 44 times. In 2014, an Alameda County jury in Oakland convicted Steve Carlson of murder in the first degree for the slaying of Tina Marie Faelz. Honorable Judge C. Don Clay sentenced him to 26 years to life in prison. Even though Steve was a minor during the killing, he was tried as an adult due to the gravity of the case. In a 2017 appeal alleging lack of evidence, shaved 10 years off his sentence and reduced the conviction to second-degree murder. Steve Carlson maintained his innocence until 2020, when he finally confessed. He wrote a letter to Tina's family and a letter to Tina herself. "You were just minding your own business," he writes. "Having to walk home by yourself and have to walk through that scary drainage tunnel could have been so terrifying to a 14-year-old girl, but only to have to be horrifically surprised by me attacking and brutally murdering you. I don't remember the stabbing motions. I just remember standing over a bloody body holding a bloody knife. I remember looking out my window and seeing someone walking on the dirt pathway in the field that was across the street from my house. I remember being full of rage at the way my classmates were laughing at me and the damage my parents' room was in, and how my dad was going to whip on me after they found out about the party I threw. Everything happened so fast. I remember going to the kitchen and grabbed a butcher knife. I walked across the street into the field at the gully. That's where, at the time, was Tina Faelz." Creepy Carlson says he threw the knife into the field, but despite extensive search efforts, the murder weapon has never been found. The murder of Tina Faelz had more than the community of Pleasanton clutching their purse, honey, or clutching their pearls. People started sleeping with baseball bats underneath their beds and other weapons besides their bed. The murder scene has now become someone's backyard with new houses built on it. The creek was covered and a fence has been built to prevent pedestrians from entering by the freeway. Creepy Carlson is now serving his sentence at the Tehachapi, California Correctional Institution in Southern California. We reached the end of today's episode of Bay Area Housewife of True Crime with the case of Tina Faelz. I hope you liked my take on it. Thank you so much for coming down the rabbit hole where I currently live. I accept all suggestions, comments, requests, questions. Hit me up at yayareahousewife@gmail.com. I'll see you chismosas y chismosos in the next one. Adios.